So my name's Zeki Kuchikursa and I'm a software engineer here at the Rakuten Blockchain Lab. And in my spare time, I'm a mental health advocate and I'm building a suicide prevention app. So 2.5 years ago, my brother took his own life. And after that event, I was thinking to myself, there must be some way for me to use what I've learned as a software engineer to be able to try and combat this problem, especially in Northern Ireland. So the rate of suicide in Northern Ireland is twice that of what's in England. And actually on a global scale, we're actually one of the worst countries in terms of the suicide rate. So I think at the moment we're like joint 14th or 15th, which isn't really something you want to be, you know? So kind of what I've been saying to people is that, well, when you volunteer and you dedicate some time to try and do something, normally once you're finished volunteering, that's it, and you have to keep contributing more and more time to actually be able to see more results. But with software engineering and with writing an app and writing code, it's a little bit different. So the time that I invest in writing this code means that once it's done, then it can be used by loads of different people without me having to dedicate more time to it. So the main idea of the app is actually to be the first line of intervention for someone who's contemplating suicide. And so research has shown that although feelings of suicide are very, very strong, they are temporary. So when I say temporary, I mean that you may feel them for a set period of time and then they will go away. You may feel them again in another time period, so a day may go by before you feel them again, but they have been shown that they do go away and come back. But whenever someone has these feelings of suicide, the research again has shown that usually they're feeling that way because they feel like they have no reason for living, so they've lost their purpose. And so one of the main features in the app is to establish and create an action plan which the user can follow in the event that they're thinking of taking their own life. And so with this action plan, first of all, would encourage them to get in touch with professional organisations, so Lifeline or Samaritans, which run phone services, which they can get in touch with and speak to a professional. But this action plan also tries to get a bit more input from the user, so whenever they're creating it, we can try and help them establish their reasons for living. So this can be things as simple as, I have a pet to look after, or I have a job where my teammates rely on me, or I'm part of a sports team. And so the idea is to help the user try and come up with this action plan which they can actually use whenever they're feeling really, really low. So there's no name at the moment, but my brother's nickname was Ozzy, so at the moment it's nicknamed the Oz Project, so we called him Oz for short. So at the moment, I'm being supported by Rakuten to help me build this app. So I went over to Montpellier, which is south of France, where we have Rakuten Aquafadas, who are a team of app developers, and they helped me build a couple of proof of concepts to illustrate this action plan creator and how it actually would work for a user. In terms of long-term release plans, there's not really a set date in mind at the moment. What I'm doing at the moment is kind of collating ideas within a smaller group of people, including software engineers and healthcare professionals who are advising and giving their input into the product. And as we move forward, then at that point, it might become more clear as to when this will actually be released to the public. But aside from the app itself, what I'm trying to do is to get conversations going, like what we're having here. And so the app at the moment is facilitating that in a great way, and it's something which everyone in the office here has gotten behind and on the wider community has. So it's doing its job so far, and hopefully in the near future, it will be something which people can use to get help. And there's a tech conference which is held in Belfast called NIDevConf, and I spoke at NIDevConf about what I was kind of planning to do effectively. And Fergal, my manager at the Blockchain Lab, was aware that I was going to speak about this. And internally at Rakuten, there's an award which you can receive, which is called Playmaker of the Season. So Rakuten sponsor FC Barcelona, and so all of the awards are kind of football themed. But essentially this Playmaker of the Season award recognises contributions which someone is making outside of their day job, so in the community. And so Fergal approached me and said, listen, there's this award, I'd really like to nominate you for it. And so Fergal nominated me and I won the award. And as part of that award, Rakuten have been supporting me since. So I won that award back in June. I went to Montpellier in the start of October there, and I'm actually flying over to London tomorrow evening to take part in the Spartan race on Friday. So the Spartan race is like similar to Tough Mudder, which is maybe a little bit more famous, but it's like a race with obstacles and physical challenge and things like that. But as part of this Spartan race, Rakuten have been making a film themselves called The Journey, and essentially they've interviewed myself and a couple other people to talk about what they're up to in the community and what's led them to take part. And so hopefully that support will continue from Rakuten.